When I was little, my father was famous. He was the greatest samurai in the empire.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, 7:03 p.m. Pacific time. Running a little late. My apologies. Let me get my camera up and going for you here. And let's see who is in. If anybody's started out in this room yet. Let's see. Oh, don't mess anything up, Jerry. Let's get this going. Who is here? Who is here? Anybody over in the chat yet? Nope. All right, all right. And refresh. Am I going? Can't tell if I'm on. Looks like everything's going. So I'm just going to keep talking as if I am. All right, folks. Looks like we're good. So it's been a bit of a week, hasn't it, folks? A little bit of action going on in the flat Earth globe science debate world. Who do we got in the room? Oh, we got people in the room. Hey, we got David 313. Hey, what's up? Let me turn my camera on over here so y'all can see my. Hey, what's up? Alexandros Dakin. Hey, RHKGL. I can't remember what your real name is. Nice to see you. Red Racers in the room, 7 p.m. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Danger Man, I will check out Wolfie's latest video. I saw that. I think you linked to it. I just haven't had a chance. I just got off of work and came home. I don't know if you guys can. Hey, David, again. I don't know if you guys can see. Got a new. I don't know if this is backwards for you guys. Let me double check this thing. Get this thing in here. Got a new little novelty shirt. Little flat Earth. It says, "I'm not real." Found this online. I thought it was hilarious. Had to get it. Yes, everything's cool. Thank you very much for asking. Doc in 74, yeah, I see you have a question coming up. Critical Think. Hey, what's up, Critical Think? Thank you for your support. Steak Knot, Blinky05, Equinox Project. What's up, Equinox? Let's see. Let's see. Flat Earth science seems to be an oxymoron. Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, it is a cool shirt. I saw it. It was on. I can't remember where I got it from. Maybe I'll post something in the description later on. But I thought it was cool. I had to get it. Hey, what's up, Christian? And maybe you should see the suckers are in space. Vaporwave Joe, I like that. What happened during the week? Yeah, what's going on in this one? There's been no drama at all this last week. Yeah, none whatsoever. BJ for myself. So before, at some point, I'll probably put a link on my my GreaterSapien Facebook. Let's see, Facebook/GreaterSapien. Let me undo that. Mike. So Facebook.com/GreaterSapien, and I'll put a post. I'll post the link there, so then you can see it. Oh damn, what's going on? Everything's screwing up. And you can get to it. I'm having some technical difficulties with my Google Doc over here. Apologies. What is going on? Let me redo. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Nice. And let me delete that and just get out of it altogether. Wayne Schultz, what's up? Vaporwave, sock account. Okay, yeah, we're gonna try to keep keep the language down a little bit. Greetings from Argentina. Hey, what's up? So I have a number of bullet points here I want to go through. What I'm going to do is there are, I think, 3 videos, maybe 2, that I got links to that I'm going to look at. I'm going to watch the Ranty rebuttal to my demolition of his nonsense. I haven't watched it yet. Honestly, I have not watched it yet. My wife's watched it. She skipped through it and she said it was nonsense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just watch it here. I've known about it for, I guess it's been a little over a day, but I just haven't watched it. I was busy yesterday. I took the family out to see Les Mis, had a nice evening, came back, found out there's this, video out there. I figured I'll just watch it tonight with you guys. So let's see we got Mark of the Beast. Hey, what's up, Mark of the Beast? Anon. Nice. So let me talk about a couple things here. I'm going to share my screen here. I'll share that one. See if that's coming through. Go. All right. So a couple just kind of like maintenance type of things. And just reiterating my attitude about these things. This is a post I got from somebody that has, it's a sock account. But understand that I don't tolerate this type of stuff in my comment threads. This kind of thing gets you blocked automatically. This is a flat earther. Obviously, it's somebody who disagrees with me, and they go straight to, of course, this type of ignorance. I don't tolerate it, and this person gets blocked immediately. But just in case people don't, think that I'm just, going after people who don't like me. This is a Gaz girl who I've also blocked, and who obviously supports the globe Earth notion, but she or this person who's saying they're a girl, whether they are or not, is couching their argument in this kind of anti-Jewish, bigoted conspiracy garbage that I don't put up with, even if you're on my side. It's like I have no room for this noise. Thank you, Stephen. Love you too. So this person gets blocked as well. I don't know why this person thinks that they can support me in one way and yet have this type of attitude. And actually, I think this one's not showing the whole thing. The last part of this this insult to D Marble, and I don't care if this person doesn't like D Marble. You don't get to. I'm not going to let you insult people like this. This last section of D Marble talks about him being an embarrassment to intelligent Black people, and how he's bringing Black people down. And it's just like, no, sorry. Black people come in all shapes and sizes. We are the spectrum of things, just like everyone else is. I don't have time for this bullshit. So that's so even if you support me, keep your shit clean. At least stay away from this. I understand you're not going to stay clean. It's a battle. I'm not asking you to not swear or anything like that, but this kind of noise, I got no love for. And on that point, this is something that I have to say to people who do support me, and I want to reiterate this. Homophobia is not acceptable. Now, this is coming up because let me stop screen sharing. This is coming up because obviously in this last week, D Marble and I have had a clash, and other people have gotten involved as well. It's a clash of personalities, clash of worldviews, clash of techniques. clash of emotional stability. I don't know. But his line of attack early on, outside of me being old, like being old is somehow a problem. He wishes he was going to be old. Outside of that, it's been some type of attack of, it's like, oh, you're Homo sapien. This is why I call you Homo. Because somehow, just because I don't agree with him, that somehow makes me gay. And of course, as I said in my video, that told me enough about him, about his insecurities, about his issues with his own masculinity, his own manhood, his own need to prove himself and somehow stake out a territory that I used it as a method of attack and manipulation. And I'm going to be completely honest about it. It was a dick move on my part. It was manipulative. I knew what would happen. I was in control of the situation. I chose my words on purpose because I knew I could manipulate him. And he reacted in a way that was fairly predictable. A little bit more exaggerated than I thought, but it was fairly predictable. But what I don't like that has come out of it is that many people who support me have gone that extra level to say that the reason he uses his homophobic slurs is because he's a closeted gay man. And I understand people having that theory. There is a lot of support behind the idea of people who are aggressively homophobic having some type of issues with their own acceptance. I don't know if he does or not. It doesn't matter to me. He can be gay, he can be straight, he can be bi, whatever. It has no pertinence to the fact that he has no concept of science or critical thinking. But the idea that people who are supporting me are attacking him as being a closeted gay man and deciding that they're going to make gay slurs against him because of that is diametrically opposed to my argument here, to my position here. You're not making it if someone is attacking you, or in this case me, with gay slurs, I don't support my position by attacking him back with gay slurs. So anyone who's doing that on my behalf, I ask you to stop because you're diminishing the position. You're diminishing you're ceding the high ground. And I think at least I, in this situation, have the high ground with him. I'm never going to stoop to actually trying to say that he's gay. I just say that he has masculinity issues. You don't have to be gay to have masculinity issues. He has territorial issues. He's got some insecurities. That's fine. But to assume that he's gay, or to at least mock the concept of him being gay as a way of defending me, is equally offensive to me. So I ask you to stop. And so I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I've noticed it in the comment threads. I'm not impressed by it when it's used against me. I'm not impressed by it when it is used for me. And so I ask you not to make those, take that tactic on my behalf or at all. It's 2018. We need to be over that stuff. Move on to other things. Stick to the merits of the argument. We've got it every time. End of lecture. So anything else going on in here? Sorry. Anon is asking me to mention the R word and the word retard, which comes up a lot. And I had this conversation with my son in the car because he's of the generation. He's 13 years old, and that word is wholly unacceptable by his generation. Wholly unacceptable. He's uncomfortable with me using it while describing these conversations. It's because in his world it's such a derisive term and so cruel that that he can't deal with it. And I'm fine with it, fine with that. I'm of an age where it was used legitimately. Retardation meaning slow down. You break your leg and it takes a while for it to grow. You have retardation of growth in your leg. Yeah, that's how it was when I was young. Then it's kind of morphed into an easy, lazy insult to people. Where's Haterazzi? I don't know. I'll talk to Iceberg and see what we can do about that. Sorry, that was a little side comment. But I find it a lazy insult. It tells me that a person isn't really interested in having a conversation. And so when I see it used against a person, I'll usually delete those comments. There's too many comments. I don't have time to go through and delete them all. So sometimes I just kind of blanket accept things, and so things get through. But if someone says that a person's argument is retarded, I usually leave that one there because they're not attacking a person, they're attacking an argument. But when they're attacking an individual, I have a problem with that. And yes, and on Flattard is another one, but that's not a hill like I can, I'm willing to die on. There's no stopping that one. If I blocked the word Flattard, I probably would end up blocking 40% of the comments that come through. Same with Globetard. Between the two of them, half the comments would be gone. I find them lazy insults personally. You'll find nowhere where I've used those comments toward a flat earther. I will say flat earther. I will say FE, something like that. That's pretty much it. But you won't hear Flattard out of my mouth because there are better insults. I'd rather describe the person for what they are, describe their ignorance in detail for what it is, as opposed to lazily just throw out those blanket terms. It's an easy one, and it's lazy and it's tired. Same with the flat Earth people who use globetard. Really, that's it? That's the best you got? Come on, step up your game. Okay. So that's my comment on that. Yeah, and again, I don't want to completely arrest all conversation in the comment thread, so I let things through every so often. But come on, people, come up with other things. Let's see anything. So let's see I'm gonna figure out a way of doing this. I want to be able to. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear. I'm gonna have to take these out. I'm gonna have to set it up so sound comes out of my speakers because I want to look at a video. Let's see. Who is this?
I don't know what.
Oh, boy. That guy. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. So I got this link. I didn't see who sent me the link. My apologies. Let's see, share screen. And share that one there. This gentleman here goes by the name of Flat Earth Fighter. Goes by the name of Flat Earth Fighter, and has been making. I've actually seen this one, so I'm probably gonna find another one. Real quick, I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna see if it's loud enough. Tell me if you guys can hear it, at least so you can listen along. Let me turn up my volume here. See if this is coming through on the mic.
Why everyone be disrespecting D Marvel? Because at least he does what he has to do. I mean, he doesn't live with his mom like all you people do.
You guys hearing that okay?
And it's like,
can you hear that? Okay, cool. Good. So at least when I'm watching these, you're not just, wondering what the hell's going on. Okay, so I've seen this one. So I'm going to allegedly, I don't know, man. I'm going to see if there's anything else. He usually puts something up about once a week. He's oddly obsessed with both me and D-Marble. So let's just take a real quick look here. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah, so this one, this is a week ago, and I don't think I've watched this one. It might have auto-played, but I don't think I've watched it. So let's just see if this one mentions me. Let's see if this one does here.
Orbital mechanics. I know orbital mechanics. Just like Jeranism said, math's only real if you check reality first. So if you base your life and everything on the belief you live on a stupid spinning ball, then all your mathematics that you make up is going to make sense. Math is only real if you check reality first. Jeranism, check it out. He knows what he's talking about. And you don't even want me to start editing and doing all this stuff, man. I got an Xbox One X. I'll destroy you. Just let y'all know the globe Earth. I don't know, man. This just sounds so retarded. From what your little kindergarten teacher taught you, you just believe to death, to the death do us part, right? So even if you people knew it's flat and everything, you're still going to deny it, right? Cognitive dissonance, right? Dissonance. Yeah, whatever. Hey, man, I don't know what to say. It's just unbelievable how you people know this is flat, and you're just going to keep going at it like it's a globe. Blah, blah, blah. Spinning around, orbital mechanics. Nothing orbits anything, just like I said. Flies orbit shit. You know what I mean? And possibly you people, globetars that are watching this, they orbit you too. So all I got to say is GreaterSapien. You sit there and you act like you're coming out with some big devastating video, and it's just like, just in the air on a balloon. It's all, you're cool and everything, but, just maybe you need to like.
Wait, I'm cool? Wait, so this guy, he's made like 3 or 4 videos with me in the comment as a focus of it, but he says I'm cool. All right, that's cool, I guess. All right,
we'll move on. We'll stop disrespecting. If it wasn't for us, you're probably making money off of us, man. So I don't understand. You need us. You need us, dude. So basically, I pay you because you get paid off YouTube for your videos about flat earthers. So if there was no flat earthers, then you wouldn't get paid. So I'm your boss. I'm your boss, GreaterSapien. So I'll be giving your W-2 forms next year around the end of January. I'll possibly do it earlier. Yeah. Okay.
Woo.
But check out my video. Yo, it's flat. Yeah.
Well, that was kind of awesome. I don't know. It's interesting that he talks smack, but he says I'm cool. So apparently he thinks I'm a cool guy. I got a top chat. Somebody little super chat thing. Cool. Thanks, Patrick. Little house cleaning real quick. Some of you guys are doing the super chat thing. If you're all interested, next week I'm going to go to print on my GreaterSapien T-shirts. Thinking is critical because truth is not because sense is not common shirts. They're going to be going to print next week. They are available on my website at studiosapien.com/support. Just go to studiosapien.com. There's a support GS button, and you hit that, and you can order shirts. There's also a button. Oh, actually, why don't we just do this here, man? Why don't I just show you? Go back to sharing the screen. So you can look at this guy's mug again real quick. Studiosapien.com. Let's see. Not that one. I'm going to keyboard's decided it doesn't want to work. Yeah. Interesting crap going on. Oh, okay. Issues. Let's see. Well, if you go to Studio, yeah, my keyboard's conking out on me. Okay, if you go to studiosapien.com and go to the Support GS button, you can order T-shirts there. You can also, there's a little button for what I call a digital handshake. It's just a $5 donation, digital thank you. Just, you know, it's you can just say thank you by donating $5. So you can do that there. But I'll be taking orders through Sunday. Actually, I might just keep doing them for a while, but I'll definitely be, I'm pressing for orders through Sunday because I want to go to print next week on those shirts, if you're at all interested. So yeah, this guy's interesting cat. Let's see. Next on my list of things, and I think it follows right with it, and it kind of goes in line with that. And that is this. So this was earlier today. Our good friend commented on my my laser test. 2 millimeters, lol, pathetic. Now, I found it interesting that he came here and made a comment when he is adamant that he does not care about me. And I'm sure part of him thinks that's true. But the fact is, he comes to me and basically challenges me to debunk him, and then he gets mad when I do. So he comes and he says 2 millimeters, lol, pathetic. And I found it interesting that he says it because the whole point of this this exercise, the demo that I did, was a proof of concept. People like Mr. Marble like to say that refraction doesn't exist at all, and at least lasers don't get refracted. For some reason, they think things like lasers are special. So it was a basic proof of concept. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by it there. It was a proof of concept. The fact is that simple change in the atmospheric density can and does alter the path of light, of laser beams, in this case. So the fact that it was 2 millimeters or so over a period of a space of 40 feet after just putting this much ice in front of it is significant. It is a fact that light will bend when going through a different density of a medium without it going in. It's not water. It's not going into water or anything like that. It's just going through a different atmosphere. And since the atmosphere is on a gradient, and there is a gradient in the atmosphere of lower pressure to higher pressure and temperature differences. Hold on, and I can't do things at the moment because, as some people like to say, I'm old and multitasking is difficult sometimes. So let's see here. So saying that 2 millimeters is a joke is funny because 2 millimeters compared to your nothing that you claim nothing will happen. 2 millimeters is like infinite. It's a mountain compared to the nothing that people like Mr. Marble claim exist. Sweep my walkway. Yes. And reason I bring that one up is because it leads to the next question, which was a legitimate question from Frank Kelly. He wants to know what this terrestrial refraction is and what the flat Earth crowd thinks it does. And it's a very good question. Let's see here. There is refraction. Light refracts. That is just a fact. And when we talk about atmospheric refraction due to the air in the atmosphere of the Earth, generally they talk about two types of refraction. astronomers will say, or people will talk of celestial refraction, and they'll talk about terrestrial refraction. And celestial refraction is about objects that are outside of the Earth's atmosphere coming in and sending light, the light coming into the Earth's atmosphere and interacting. Terrestrial refraction is about things within the Earth's atmosphere that are already on Earth, whether or not they're physically on the ground, they're already within the influence of the Earth's atmosphere. So celestial refraction is for things that are outside of the Earth. Terrestrial refraction are things that are within the influence of the Earth's atmosphere. And the reason there's any distinction is that terrestrial refraction, celestial refraction coming in from the stars, from the sun and stars, always bends in such a way to make the objects seem higher than they are. Which in other words they bend down, which makes them seem like here's a light. The light, instead of just going straight, bends down. So that when you look at it, you think it's higher up. Okay, so celestial refraction are things, when they come into the atmosphere, they always seem a little higher above the horizon than they actually are due to the bending of the light when it comes into the denser atmosphere. The fact that there is atmosphere makes it a denser medium, and so it automatically refracts. Terrestrial refraction is slightly different. For the most part, in general, light will refract down. Objects will seem higher than they are because in general, there's more dense air toward the bottom, and it's, there's a gradient, atmospheric gradient. So in general, there's denser air down here, thinner air up here. So since it's going through a denser medium, it refracts down. That's in general. But there are circumstances where the lower atmosphere or another section of atmosphere may be hotter or warmer than an atmosphere above, thus it's less dense, and thus it will refract up. So that's why there's a difference between celestial refraction, which is always refracting down and making things look higher, while in terrestrial refraction, it generally refracts down, making things look higher. But under some circumstances, if the temperatures are right, things will refract up and objects will look lower. That's the difference. But flat earthers seem to think, and this is from what I hear from them, is that terrestrial refraction is means objects that are on the earth, like mountains and buildings and things like that, as opposed to things over the water or just general ambient light. They seem to want to think that terrestrial refraction means physical objects on the earth refract differently, or that's what they're saying that we are saying, when it's actually just about the difference in temperature gradients and things like that. So whenever someone says, you guys believe in terrestrial refraction, it's just, they either don't know what they're talking about or they're being disingenuous. Terrestrial refraction isn't about physical objects or attached to the earth or anything like that. It's just about the way light already within the atmosphere reacts, as opposed to light that's outside of the atmosphere reacts. All right. So that's, let's see. Well, reason you have to say things 10 times before I notice is because generally I'm trying to make eye contact with the camera. And so I'm not looking at the stream the whole time. So it's not personal. It's just about my attention. You guys are handling things pretty well over there. So I'm letting you guys do your thing. But hold on one second here. Yeah, my keyboard's jacked up. I got to see if I can fix this puppy. Hold on. All right. So that's one reason why I'm not able to help you. Oh, someone just threw some money. What is up with that, people? Thank you for your generosity. Joe Beans. You got Belita, astronomer's rule. Cool. Thanks, Joe Beans. Cool beans, Joe Beans. There we go. Oops. That's working better now. Let's see. See if that works any better for you, Anon. I don't know if that does. See, if you go say, Joe Beans, you say you love NASA, then the flat earthers just gonna give you. Someone noticed. So someone asked the names of my cat, Jeeves and Wooster. I don't know if you're familiar with the literary reference at those. They're doing well. The cats. They're doing well. So what is next on my list of questions? Because people have asked things in advance. Oh, another Frank. Another Frank. Hold on. Our good friend, Frankie. All right. Now, this is a FMA, Frank Michael Alba. First, let's all be happy that Frank finally figured out how to turn off his caps lock. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, and you have refresh, because you should have moderator status, and I'm not seeing a little thing next to you there. So maybe refresh, see what happens. Let's see. That works for you. Whoops, go back over here. No, go back over here. So somewhere amongst all the comments, RHKGL asked about the status of the Polar Explorer flight. And Frank wraps it in a bunch of nonsense. I'm surprised he didn't mention President Obama in here, because for some reason he just got a thing about Obama. But let's see. So what's the status? First, there's my status, which I'm just gathering things together, getting my stuff in order, trying to figure out the different things I need. You're only allowed to have I think up to 42, like 40 pounds. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'll have to look it up. But you're only allowed to take so much on board with you. There's no carry-ons, there's no baggages that are going to be checked or anything like that. It has to be your one bag with all your stuff in it, because it's just basically a carry-on. That's all you get to have. And so I have to balance, 5 days worth of clothing, because I have to go there and come back, and I have to have everything there with whatever I want to bring. I have my standard GPS unit here. These Bad Elf folks, they also make a phone attachment that just attaches here. It looks like an extended battery. I'm going to get one of those. I think it's like $150. So I'm going to get one of those guys. It looks like an extended battery. So if for some reason, which I don't think is going to happen, if someone decided, oh, you can't take something like this, which has never happened yet, then I'll still have a GPS that looks just like an extended phone battery. It does the same thing. It just doesn't have its own screen interface. It uses the phone as the interface. So I'll be doing that as well. I'm just going to put this thing on a lanyard hanging on the outside of my carry-on, like it's just a thing, like it's nobody's business. I'm looking at good compasses. I want to get a southern hemisphere compass, and in addition to a northern hemisphere compass, so I can watch the difference in the way they react. The flight is scheduled for October 27th. I think I'm flying out on the 26th, 27th. I have to look it up. And so that's when it's scheduled. Now, there is a disconcerting fact that if you go to the overthepoles.com, overthepoles2018.com website, it is down. It somehow got detached from its Wix account. I don't know, just if they were just kind of paying it on a regular basis and they forgot to renew the darn thing. I don't know. The domain name is registered through the end of the year, which makes sense to only have it for the end of the year, because after 2018 they don't need to have that domain name anymore. It could be something as simple as they got a 6-month Wix account and they forgot to renew the thing. Or it could be something, more nefarious, like the flat earthers would like to believe. But, it looks like the DNS and on is not up yet. It looks like the DNS doesn't go until November, but it might be just that they didn't renew the Wix account or the whatever. I think it's Wix. They probably got a temporary account and they just didn't renew it on time. So I have a call into my contact. I have a number of someone that I've discussed things with. He's not in charge of the website or anything like that, but at least I can get some information. So I've sent a text and an email out to that person. So that's the current status of things. So that's about as much information I can give in terms of where things are. People keep saying, "Why haven't you done it yet?" It's not like I can make the thing happen faster than the schedule. So I haven't taken the money and bought a boat or anything like that. I bought a ticket. That's it. So that's it there. That's the answer. And answered your question. Again, and on refresh, you should have moderator status, and I'm not seeing that on a little thing on you there. So remember I told you earlier that I was going to be disabling moderators, and I did, but since you're here, I'm going to put you back on. So you should maybe refresh that and see if that did you any good. Let me double check here myself. Yeah, you should be good. It should give you the ability. Now, next on my list, it's another question. Got another question from someone. These are just questions that were in the comment threads. Every so often, I just want to do things here, so I'm not just giving empty commentary here. I want to be able to put in some facts and here we go. So from Diamond Canterbury, I'm a fan that used to hate on you. Please make a video explaining why NASA admits that they destroyed the technology to get to the moon. Explain why they taped over all original video and data, and all data was lost. If you can explain this, then I'll be a moon landing believer. But nobody can answer those. If nobody can answer those questions, it's obviously a cover-up. Please explain. So, well, right off the bat, Diamond, you've already it's a fault. Your question is a false premise. The idea that if someone can't answer these questions, it's got to be a cover-up. You've already kind of set things up for a cover-up. You're looking for it, so you're putting yourself in a position where that's what you're gonna find. I'm not gonna make a video on it because I'm not gonna make a video trying to making up answers. So right off the bat, I'm not gonna make a video making up answers. So why NASA admits they destroyed the technology going to get to the moon. I'm gonna keep this up here so you guys can understand the bullet points I'm going through. So first off, you say NASA admits they destroyed the technology to get to the moon. Oh, hey, Diamond, this is your question. Nice. So how did NASA admit that they destroyed it? Did they say how it was destroyed? People say NASA says they destroyed it, and I think what they're picturing is that they went out and they said, "What is that? That's the stuff that went to the moon. Burn it all." And that's not what happened. First off, most of the stuff that NASA had was let me go back on screen here because most of the equipment that NASA had used during the missions were for the missions, And so if you take the rocket up and you drop it, it's done. Thank you very much, Jason. Keep fighting a good fight. You too. So you go up in the mission. You jettison the rockets. They fall into the ocean. They're done. They're destroyed. You leave stuff on the move. It's on the moon. It's done. It's gone. So most of the stuff was like one-use things. You use it and it's gone. It's destroyed. They destroy it in the act of using it. And then there were other things that that you can have held in storage for possible use, but without upkeep and without funding to keep things going, they fall apart. They're no good. They have shelf lives. And even if they want to do something again, they're not going to use that. They're going to use something else. They're going to use a new, better thing. Just because it worked then doesn't mean you're going to hold on to it and use the same thing. Yes, with the exception of the reusable rockets now, but back then it wasn't reusable. They just you used it and it's like a bottle rocket. Okay, it's done. It's spent. It's a payload. Now, then that's the whole point of the stuff that Musk is trying to do, is to have these reusable rockets so that they're not destroyed. So when they say NASA destroyed it, it was a flippant thing to say, and so it allows a lot of interpretation. So this is also my interpretation, to be honest. That's why I'm not making a video on it, because I don't know the exact way things were done. Yeah. So I can't say, I'm not gonna make a video basically saying, ask NASA. I'm not gonna make a video on that. So explain why they taped over all the original video and all data was lost. Well, all data was not lost. It wasn't. And also, why did they tape over the original video? First off, there was several versions of original video. There was why did I do 3 for quotes? That made no sense. When the broadcast happened, they recorded it in several formats at the same time. They recorded it on whatever videotape that they had. They did it on with television cameras. They put a thing on the wall and they recorded it that way. They also used a telemetry tape, which is a high quality tape to record the incoming data, because even if it's video, it's still bits of data. That's all it is. And so the video that was lost was the high quality telemetry data of the Apollo mission. And so, but there were other copies on other formats that were recorded at the same time that they still have. That's why they're able to, upload things, because it's not like there was one copy and that's gone and now they're just making stuff up. There was several copies made at the same time in different formats. They're just of different quality. And then copies were made after that. And so when the original telemetry tapes, and when they talk about the telemetry tapes, they're not talking about the telemetry data tapes. They're talking about the telemetry tapes that were used for recording the video. When those were mishandled or whatever bureaucratic nonsense that went on, those were lost, but the other versions were not. Yeah, no, isn't that awesome? This shirt, I saw it and I had to get it. I'll put a link in the description after I'm done. Yeah, I'm not real. So film the tape the digital things. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. In the last part of this. Oh, but and if you can explain it, you'll be a believer. But I don't know if that was good enough for you. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Excellent. So let's see. Hey, what's up? Crystal Wolf. Sean Hawkins, hey, what's up? Let's see what's next on this list. Okay. Oh, this one. This person. Christopher. look at Christopher's annoying self. Okay. This person is relatively new to the comment threads. It seems has been putting in a lot of time. So Lesser Sapien, one of my favorite unoriginal insults. I'm surprised one of them haven't tried to pick up a Lesser Sapien YouTube username just to try to use it against me. Come on, guys, get on it. Lesser Sapien just debunked the idea that we could shoot a laser to the moon. That whole idea is just as blah 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 as that betas fall for betas. Another manhood comment. So biting, so deep. Okay. So the concept behind this attempt at critique is that in my Brenda, I will try to remember your question after I'm done with this, Brenda. So the premise behind Christopher's comment is that if in my criticism of Daryl, I talked about how he didn't factor in the dispersion of the beam and how big it would have gotten over the distance. And the main part of that is that when it gets low toward the water, there's a tremendous amount of refraction when you're way toward the water. If you get like 30, 40 feet up, the refraction is not as much, but when you get down close to the water, there's a lot of refraction. So once you got that beam that spreads out and gets close to the bottom, then you have issues. So, but this Christopher's point is trying to say that, well, if the beam spreads out, then how could the beam ever get to the moon? Because obviously you haven't been able, you spread out and it's too big, and so people aren't bouncing things off the moon and bringing it back, and so that's obviously fake. And this is, of course, someone who doesn't know what is actually going on when they're bouncing things off the moon. And I'm sure Christopher Wentz in there will supplement me if I say anything incorrect here. But first off, people who are shooting lasers toward the moon have better lasers. let's just deal with that. They have better lasers, but they also have lasers that are of very specific wavelengths and are sent in and I believe they send them in signal patterns. But so it's not just that it's just a light and they shoot it off and they see it come back. They shoot a very specific wavelength. It's not just like, there's light going all over the place. It's a very specific wavelength that they can then see when it comes back. When they get just a few photons back, it's at that wavelength. And they're like, that's the one. It's like there's all sorts of cosmic noise going on. There's all sorts of light bouncing around, but there's a specific wavelength that they're looking for coming back. There's what it's called retroreflective mirrors up there. Basically, if you guys don't know, anybody who doesn't, if you think of the reflectors on a bicycle, they're a collection of small retroreflective mirrors, which basically send a light beam directly back in the direction that it came from. You encounter it, it encounters it. We're going to the corner of my video here. So it encounters it there, bounces there, and then comes back down in the opposite direction, directly back. Ann is saying pulse laser, short control group. Yes, and retroreflective. You're saying. So it's not like they're just shining a blanket laser out there, and it does spread out, and so not much hits the receiver, the retroreflector that they're going for, but it comes directly back. One, they know where it is, so they can also aim for it. But it comes directly back, and then they get those signals. So that is how they're doing it. It's not just like he is just like off the counter. We're going to just point a laser and see what happens. So hopefully I answered that one clearly enough. I mean, there's a ton of detail on these things, but hopefully that's kind of a high-end, top-down understanding of it. 1 out of 100 trillion photons. So good information there, Ann. All right, next up on my list, I think I have another video to watch. So this is the one. This is the video I have not watched. So this is the Ranty video. Let's see if I can get this one up here. Oh, hold on. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to do some quick housekeeping. It's right here. Stick this right over here for everyone to see. And let's share that screen. So I'm going to watch this Ranty rebuttal video. Now, I am genuine in my claim here that I have not watched this video. I downloaded it just in case it got taken away, but I will watch it on his page, give him the view for it, and let's see what it is. So for those who don't know, Ranty Flat Earth here made a video trying to criticize my laser demo, saying that the demonstration I did disproved terrestrial refraction. Let me put this, make sure this is up here. I want to make sure this is seen. I want to make sure that my little fair use thing pops up. Make sure it's on screen at all time. He says it disproves terrestrial refraction, thus disproves the globe Earth, because he assumed that my camera was looking through the same atmospheric change, and if it was looking through the same atmospheric change, then you should have seen a similar type of distortion going on with the wood behind it. So his idea was that since the wood wasn't moving, but the laser was, that shows that regular light refraction is possible, but terrestrial refraction, like the wood refraction, isn't possible. And thus, when people say they see buildings in the distance because of refraction, it's not true, because that's terrestrial stuff, and terrestrial stuff doesn't refract. Thus, yeah, that nonsense. So that was his claim. Now, the fact is, I didn't divulge the fact that I was using a second camera closer up, because it was kind of obvious that I was using a second camera closer up. It was at an angle. The lines weren't parallel. You could see that it was not straight on. So, because I don't have a P900, I'm not one of those, though I probably will get a P1000. I don't have one of those, so I didn't have the ability to zoom in from really far away. And even if I did, I could have stayed up and to the side and still not gone through the same atmosphere. But he assumed I had, ran with it, and showed his ignorance on that. So after that, in that video, I posted the names of all the people who had supported his claim. I posted copies of that, and then he turned off comments to that video. He turned tail and run on that one. And then he sent me a message saying, "This is great. I'm going to make a new rebuttal with the new information." And I said, I don't care. But just for the sake of and have some enjoyable content, I'm going to play this video, his rebuttal now. Like I said, people have told me it exists. My wife has already seen it. And let's just watch it now. And I'll probably pause. It's 10 minutes long, but I'll probably pause and make comments as we go along. Let me make sure this thing is here. chime in to make sure you guys can hear it. All right. How's the volume there? If I turn it down, can you still hear it? Can you still hear this? By the way, any flat earther that complains that my video start is too long, come on. This was 37, 38, 40 seconds. That's not done yet. How's my video starting, my intro too long? And so here we are, 49 seconds, and now the video just started.
I can't quit you. I can't quit you.
Oh, don't know VS, verse. That's not how you do verses. That was wrong. I'm enjoying the music. Got a little beat going on here. So it looks like he's trying to take the tactic of my methodology by saying I didn't give data, which is true, I didn't. But I wasn't trying to prove a certain degree of curvature, just the existence of bending of light due to refraction. Purely the existence of bending of light. Really? Come on, do better. Do better. I mean, you can't make, I mean, making up for it a little bit with the music. This is not actually making any point. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with anything. Why was that put on there?
Well. It seems the bowler protagonist, hateful, has made a video as a rebuttal, my debunking of his video on D-Marble.
I'm sorry, did he
follow that?
Did he call me
Maybe the bowler should
hateful?
rewind it again so you can understand what I told. It seems the bowler protagonist, hateful, has made a video as a rebuttal.
Oh,
my debunking.
Oh, hateful. He's saying Homo sapien with just by saying
Maybe bowler should rewind it again so you can understand what I just said. Then, whilst you're at it, I suggest you put your fingers in your ears and chant after me. It is a ball. It is a ball. It is a ball. Whilst you let the remainder of this video play out, as listening to it will trigger a volatile response. And for all the butthurt bowler trolls who are about to get a huge dose of flat smacking,
that's what he said.
You may leave your vile comments below, as they won't be removed, unless I don't see them because you're already blocked. So, maybe best to hop on an alt just in case. So, let me introduce myself. I am Ranty Flat Earth.
Don't care.
Sapien is on my radar now, which essentially means his days of spewing utter bollocks are over.
Oh no, did you hear that? My days of spewing utter bollocks, is that what he said? Are over. Over. Ugh. I'm scared. No. Really? No. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let me go back to this fool. I'm on his radar now. My days are over.
I'll be keeping a very, very close eye on him from now on.
Oh, please
Back
do.
to the task at hand. Where was I? Oh, yes. Giving this cretin a huge dollop of flat smacking 101. Earlier, I posted a few snippets of the diligent work both D-Marble and Hate
flat
Sapien
smacking
did
101?
Where was I? Oh, yes. Giving this cretin a huge dollop of flat smacking 101.
No. Flat smacking is when I smack flat earthers. What do you? Yeah, when you smack a flat earther, that's flat smacking. Come on. Let's do this.
Earlier, I posted a few snippets of the diligent work both D-Marble and Hate Sapien did in their respective tests. I noted how D-Marble was able to keep in constant contact with his colleague and negotiate an observation over 10 miles, whilst giving all the data needed, including location, height above sea level, azimuth data, and of course, a well-documented visualization of his equipment and his test. Conversely, Sapien, even though working over just a 40-foot distance, had difficulty relaying all the data required to make an analysis.
No,
For
not
instance,
in the slightest.
the camera
Because
on
there
his
was
bin
no
was omitted from the evidence.
analysis to be made. It was just a proof of
And
concept.
considering his experiment was to do with temperature gradient changes that affect the direction light takes, he conveniently didn't supply either the cold air or the hot air temperatures.
Why would I need to?
In fact, not only do we need to take his word for camera on the bin, we then have to make guesses as to the temperature of the water and the temperature of the air above his hot rock. So as a like-for-like, test versus experiment.
Okay, so this as an information design person, okay, I just have to say something here. Okay, this is garbage. All right, you don't have objects in the foreground like this. This is in the foreground. It's screwing up perspective. These need to go the other way. I know it's nitpicky, but I'm literally a professional information designer. That's what I do for a living. And that is garbage. And it's annoying, and it's one of the things that takes me out of the situation as a designer and as a person who presents information. So petty, it's nothing to do with the point. But like I said, I haven't seen this before. These are things that go through my head.
There can be no doubt whatsoever that D-Marble produced a much more evidential video than Sapien did. This is a fact. It cannot be denied. To do so shows your bias and your...
Hey, D, I think someone likes you a bit. Do you have issues with this? One, he calls me GreaterSapien down here, which means he's a man calling another man GreaterSapien. Apparently you have issues with that. And he's showing, nice flexy pictures of you. So talk to your boy.
Your ignorance of collecting and displaying evidence. Do not allow the troll to take over. But this video is mainly for the benefit of Sapien, who, as I'm about to show, performed the worst debunking of a flat Earth video I have ever seen. Is he a secret flat earther? So in the absence of data to show the temperature of the water, and knocking the evidence together using two cameras that cannot be verified, we have to take the evidence he cites on face value
and then make stuff
draw
up.
some conclusions.
Let me get, you're going to make something
So
up.
we have a 2 millimeter drop over 40 feet, according to him, which, again, according to him, would mean the beam would have dropped 8 feet over a 10-mile distance. This is his figures and his words, not mine. Let's check the curvature calculator. For giving the relevant data, apparently 28.49 feet should be hidden. And when the ball has had their comfort cushion standard refraction, we get a 22-foot hidden. There seems to be an issue with the results here, Sapien.
No, hold on. I'm going to pause here because I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to say here. So distance of view height 8 feet, radius. So distance view height of 8 feet. So then horizon, horizon depth. What does this have to do with what I said? Viewer height in 8 feet? No, has nothing to do with what I said. Okay.
You see, and let me be very clear about this. You had all the advantages in your little experiment.
It's not an experiment,
You
it's a demo.
had an air temperature of 86.7 degrees and a water temperature of 32 degrees. In effect, you had a 54.7 degree medium change in temperature.
Oh, so you're just going to make something up. See, I don't know where he's going with this, but he's just going to make something up because it's not about the water temperature. It's not going through the water. It's going through the air above the water, which could be any number of temperatures because it's only been there for half a second. It's not even enough time for it to change much. It's been there. There's a breeze going, so it's turbulent. This idea that you're going to just say, oh, it's that much temperature is nonsense. It's not about the temperature of the water. It's about the temperature of the air and the density of the air. So, yeah.
And still, you could only manage to get the beam to drop a paltry 8 feet over 10 miles.
Oh, yes. It's only 10 feet over, only 8 feet over 10 miles by having it go over 12-inch tray of cold, with cold air above it. It's not going over cold air the entire time. It's not going through the dense air of over water in the evening for miles. It's only going over that small change. only going over that small change for a fraction of space. That's the point. I'm not saying that with this temperature change, I would get this much over the whole 10 miles. I think he thinks that I'm saying if I had 10 miles of ice tray. Do you think that's it? I think he thinks he thinks that I'm saying if there were 10 miles of ice tray water, it would dip that much. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm literally saying, thanks, Zero. Thanks for the head up. Differences, marbles. Okay. I'll check that. Something about the way it calculates the difference in temperature. Okay. So I think he's trying to extrapolate that when I am literally just saying the bend that it got just now in that instance, if I were to allow it to continue in the distance, it would have gone down 8 feet from my little tray, not from going over water that entire time. I think he's trying to extrapolate that far, which he can't do. It makes no sense. But he doesn't understand that.
For the record, that is not standard refraction, my son. That is not standard refraction at all. So let's check D. Marble's water and air temperature for the time he did his test. 22 degrees Celsius for the air temperature and 13.1 degrees for the water. The difference, 8.9 degrees Celsius. Now then, call me picky and all, but isn't the index of refraction supposed to be more severe the greater the temperature differential? So Sapiens was...
Yeah, I'm not even going to deal with the temperature conversion. It's not just about the temperature differential, and that is important. There's also the distance within the medium, the time within the medium, which you don't seem to understand at all. It's like saying that, oh, if it went through 10 miles of mildly cold air, it's literally what you're saying, that you're saying 10 miles of mildly cold air isn't the same. It's not the same as, 12 inches in very cold air. Dude, that's not how it works. I get it that you don't understand it, but this is just bad science. This is just ignorance. All right, back to
54.7 and Darrell's 8.9. So by process of deduction, there should have been less refraction for Darrell.
8.9. Yeah.
Now, if Sapien only got 8 feet, That would mean there should have been less for Darryl. So the fact that we see his laser beam is kind of at odds with the Bohr model.
Wow. You really suck. That was horrible. That was, listen, let's not even deal with the math. Let's just deal with the concepts. You don't understand the basic concepts of refraction. You seem to think it's just about the temperature. It's about the distance and time within the medium that matters. And you don't get that, Ranty. And that basic misunderstanding is your downfall. You don't know what you don't know. None of us know what we don't know, but dude, the stuff you don't know is really important.
But what's this? A half circle, you say? Let's have a look.
Well, by that distance, it will have spread out to some 85 feet. That means it has erased the distance to the horizon and is now a 85-foot wide half circle broadcasting from less than 7 miles away.
Boom, right there. That's perfect.
Seriously, hold on. You know what? I haven't really super looked at Marble's video, so I'm gonna back up here. Isn't that beam curving? Can I go full screen here? I'm gonna go full screen here, real quick. Is it me? That beam seems to be curving toward the end there. Yeah, it's like right here in the video. It's right there in the video. Okay, funny. Look at that. Let me get that fair use thing back up there. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go.
Boom, right there. That's perfect. Stay right there. Stay right there.
Doesn't look too good now, does it, mister? You have to do better. So before anyone gets all bent out of shape, we should remember that I'm working with the evidence.
Oh, wait, no, you need to reinforce what you were saying, because you didn't say. Remember, I was saying it's kind of like a half circle, and I was oversimplifying it. And you were saying, well, really?
Boom, right there. That's
and
perfect.
so I think
Stay right.
what he's trying to say is like, this doesn't look like a half circle or whatever, but you can see the line of the horizon is cutting right through the center of this thing. It's cutting right through the center. And so either he thinks it's a circle that's broadcasting through the water, which I don't think he wants to assert. But it is literally a half circle, and it's reflection and all sorts of scattering, all sorts of crap going on right there.
Stay right there.
Doesn't look too good now, does it, mister? You have to do better.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for
So
you.
before anyone gets all bent out of shape, we should remember that I'm working with the evidence provided by your Lord and Master, the one you call Greater. As for me, well, we all make mistakes, including this chump who has already ballsed up his MRAD values. A bit of advice, Mr. GreaterSapien. I think you're the one who needs to do better. Much better. And next time, some friendly advice. If you're going to use a camera to film off of the bin, it might be advisable to give it a wash down first.
That's my job. That's what I...
Dude. D. Talk to your boy. Talk to your boy.
I do. I don't lose. I win.
Is there no one on this planet to even challenge me?
Letting the music play.
Maybe you came by to congratulate me on last night's victory.
It's a warm day. The area here. There we go. Well, that was garbage. So, happens every time. Happens every single time. A flat earther thinks they have an in. And let me be honest, he would have an in on my methodology if I was actually trying to do an experiment and try to prove some type of data, specific data. That was a proof of concept. The argument out there by these people is that refraction due to light doesn't exist, due to air density doesn't exist. Period. So if I show that it happens, it doesn't matter what the numbers are. What matters is that it happens. Yes. And saying, please emphasize that none of these tests are scientific proof. Marvel's yours or Discovery Channel. Especially since when there are things on Marvel's end, when he's doing demonstrations that are completely within the realm of globe evidence, then they're not. They don't work against it. You got to come up with tests that are fully unique to the flat Earth. But back to Ranty's issue here. So I think Ranty's problem is, once again, that he doesn't understand the physics of refraction. He understands a little bit of it. Well, he's heard a little bit of it. And because he's heard a little bit of it, he's decided he understands it, and thus he runs with it. But like a kid running off to school to take a test because they studied all night, he left his books, he left his pencils, he walked out without his pants. He's still utterly confused, and oh yeah, he studied the wrong chapter the night before. He thinks he's prepared, but he is not prepared. That's the situation he's in. It's not about just a temperature drop. It's not about a simple temperature drop. Oh, it's dropped more temperature, so there's more refraction. Now there may have been more refraction in that small distance, but then it's done. The refraction is done. It is no longer refracting. It is just continuing on a straight path after that point. The difference with an object that is in a refracting medium for a long time is that it continues to refract and continues to refract and continues to refract, as opposed to mine, where it refracted for a so little time, and then went straight after that. So it refracted, dink, and then went straight after that. That's where the 8 feet is, after that straight, not as if it was over that for the entire time. So I'm not going to tell you to try harder, because you just need to stop. You're no good at this. You're just you need to go to school. You need to study these things. You need to find out the principles of the things you're arguing about before you talk about them. But you're so into impressing your idol. And I have to say idol because you showed glamour shots of the guy holding an award, literally an idol. He was literally holding an idol. So you're so in a rush to ingratiate yourself to your idol that you don't bother studying. And I have a feeling that's how you do everything. And so just stop. You're no good. So let's see. That's that there for that one. Thank you, Princess. Thank you very much. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention, because it came up in a previous video by who's the guy, that Flat Earth Fighter, that one. That I need the Flat Earthers. And even Daryl says, you need me. That's where I get my money, supposedly. Here's the thing. I don't need Flat Earthers. I'm doing this for the point of showing the ignorance and non-critical thinking out there. Right now, Flat Earthers are the dominant non-critical thinkers out on the internet. They're the dominant bad thinkers out there. So I'm dealing with them. For a while, it was the moon landing deniers. They were the dominant non-thinker. At some point, the younger creationist or something will probably become very dominant, and I'll probably shift my focus back to them a little bit, or the Illuminati people, or I'm not even dealing with Hollow Earth. That is so darn small. It's not worth my time. But so that's why I'm using you, because you guys set an example that I can easily use to discuss these problems in thinking. Peter Miss Prime, thank you very much. Flat Earth Burke in his video, Dell from Beyond the Imaginary Curve, its pressure system. Cool. I'll check that out. So I don't need you guys, but I can tell you right now that I say it directly, Daryl, you need me. You do. And the reason you need me is because I hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. I'm the coach that you don't like. I'm the coach that pushes you to be better. You don't agree with me. You don't like me. You don't think I can do what you do. I'm just talk. But I've been here. I know how to put in the work. And I hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. And think about it. Look what you've done over the last year. Or as you put it, over the last year. Look what you've done. Look at the questions you have been asking yourself before making your videos, during the making of your videos, the follow-up you've been doing after your videos. You've been doing that because you have me. You have a standard that you need to meet, and you know it. And you haven't met it yet. And so you need me to push you, to make you better. You're not good yet. You haven't even crossed over into that area yet. But the fact is, without me behind you, you'd still be talking about the sky being blue for some reason, or not understanding that. But you've had to step up your game. So you should thank me. All right. That being said, let's go on. Let's see what else is going on here. Do I have any more questions that I need to go after? And it's been what? It's been an hour and a half, and I'm starving, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. I'll start looking at what's going on in the comment threads. I had this question that's going to take too long. That's going to take too long. I'm not going to go over that. Destroy the technology. Yeah, I think I'm good for those. Okay, so I'm going to look in the room real quick. Yeah, so I'm not going to open up. I'm not going to open up the doors, the microphone to folks tonight. It's been a long week. Someone asked me earlier. I can't remember who it was. I think it was someone named Brenda. I remember someone named Brenda. What do I do outside of this? And so I am a graphic designer by training. I originally went to college for physics. I was a physics major. And then after a couple years of that, this was the late 80s because I'm old. After a couple of years of that, I wasn't quite sure what to do with that. I honestly didn't. Reagan was just getting out of his presidency. It just looked like one of these things where it's like the nuclear industry didn't look like something I wanted to be involved in. And the concept of being like a popularizer, like Sagan was, there was Sagan and that was it. To be doing something like this and pushing science in the public sphere like this was not even on the radar. So I was like, I can't see what I would want to do in that field, even though I love it. I don't know what I want to do with it as a living. So then I moved on to my other passion, which was illustration and design. So I went into that. Let's see. Yeah, it was. So I went into that, and so now I continue. You never get rid of if you love math, you love science. You never kick it. It's always there. And so I kept up with it. I continued my studies in different ways. And I apply a lot of that now to my design and work I do for a living, which is I do presentation design for litigation, for court cases. Lawyers, they have a message that they want to convey. Generally, we do patent stuff. And they need someone who can help craft the facts, the evidence into a presentation that people can understand. So if people wonder, is like, how do I, make these things? And people say that I'm really good at explaining things. That's what I do. I help people explain things for a living. I tend to do visually, but there's a lot of counseling involved at our company and helping people break down the details that they need and turn it into something that people understand. Because especially in the technology field, both medical technology, computers, there's a lot of cutting edge stuff happening, a lot of stuff happening that people don't understand. And when you're dealing with judges and juries, a lot of times they are mature, let's put it that way. And so they're not necessarily up on the latest technology or the latest things. And so you need to be able to explain it to them so that they can properly judge the case. So I do a lot of tutorials. We do a lot of jury consulting in order to find ways of explaining things that people can understand, and explain it to a judge. A judge, if he doesn't understand the technology, he can't try it. He can't try it properly. So we need to be able to explain those things. So that's what I do for a living. I help lawyers explain stuff. And lawyers pay. It's one of the few things like I found that I can do as an artist and actually make a living. So that's what I do. Outside of that, I also teach martial arts at Soja Mind Body in Berkeley. I teach 7 to 12-year-olds and also do some adult self-defense training for people in addition to my own training. So learning, understanding how to talk to people, break down concepts, figure out where their mental barriers are, even their physical barriers are, and be able to explain things in a way that they can understand is something that I've been crafting over the years. So that and my natural gift of gab, I make a living off of talking to people. So that is what I do. And then for fun, I also draw, and I used to do comics in the 90s and things like that. It's a lot of indie stuff. So that's me. Yes, I'm in Oakland. The martial arts studio is in Berkeley. Let's see. Oh, there's a new SKCD. Well, hold on a second. Let me check this out. Let's see. That's funny. That's funny, but I'm not. It's a little off topic. Not off topic, but it's not necessary. Do I follow GSW? I don't know by initials. Please explain. Khabib McGregor. I never vote for McGregor, even though he's good. I never vote for him. Do I train BJJ a little? Mostly so I understand what people are using on me. I don't necessarily. The difference between with BJJ, the whole goal is to be on the ground and finish people off. Be on the ground. I prefer to stand up. So I've trained some BJJ and I do some sparring with people who do BJJ so that I understand the techniques that they're using so that I can then turn it toward what I want to be doing. Yes, I know it is kind of on top, but I'm trying to wrap things up, man. It's good, but I want to wrap things up. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's what we're talking about here. Snide people. So yeah, it's not my thing, but it's a craft that I'm very interested in, and like I said, I train it just a little bit, mainly so it can't be used Yes, okay, don't give me any business, and all right, this is not the time. Yes, that BJJ. So let's see. But my main martial art, I was a boxer when I was younger, and then I got out of that. Mainly because just got to working and doing things like that. But so my main martial art is silat. It's an Indonesian martial art. You probably notice it from the movie The Raid, Raid Redemption and Raid 2. Those were both silat martial art movies. And so it's really a lot about really the up close. It's an up close fighting system. Which is what I like. There are throws, there are kicks, but it's all really about being within that sweating distance. It's like really being on someone. And also has a lot of it has good forms. So there's a presentation aspect to it. There's a performance aspect to it. Unlike some martial arts like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is all about the craft. I don't even like to call, and I know people will consider it a blasphemy. I don't consider Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu so much of a martial art. I have my own term for it. I call it a martial craft because that's what it is. It's about creating a specific goal, establishing a specific goal. There's not, for me, martial arts usually have a presentation aspect of it. There's a beauty or a flow. There's that aspect to the martial art. So it's things like mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In my brain, I consider them martial crafts, like in arts and crafts. So because they're about, arts and crafts. So that's what I consider. Do I watch UFC? I watch, but I don't really follow. It's like I see a fight coming up, we'll pick it up at the martial arts studio and we'll play it there. But I don't follow because pretty much all those guys are assholes, and I just don't have time for assholes. It's just it's a business. It's so much of a business. It's all about the presentation and the attitude and this and that, and it's like just make a bunch of brackets and go. Yeah. So let's see. Who's on the shirt? Oh, some people are just getting here. I will later on, probably in the morning, I'll put a link. This is a little flat Earth. It's a little flat Earth, and it says, "I'm not real." So, Mad Dog. If BJJ has a dance element, I have not seen it. Maybe that's not the way it's trained here. Maybe that's not the way it's trained in America. Maybe more traditionally it is. But yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably chop this up, but so it's not as long, and pull out sections that are related to different topics. Thank you about the shirt. So Sean, capoeira, that's different from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That has a different thing altogether. Okay, good. Because I wasn't sure if you were serious. You might have known something more about the history of the martial art than I did. So there you go. I did not design this shirt. I will put a link in the description. Okay, so it's about time to wrap things up. Is there any one specific Aikido is like martial arts dancing, kind of. I actually Equinox, and like I said, I'll probably separate this off the main video. I'll probably download everything and re-upload. Equinox, last month, the spars. Every month we have a sparring lab called Fight Lab at Soja Martial Arts, and we invite people from other schools to come and other training to come and just test their stuff out. It's kind of like it's like see what it's like being with someone who's of a different tradition, friendly people, full contact, gloves, no gloves, depending on what you want. You just pair up with people of different sizes. It's no weight classes. You just get up and you just spar for as long as you want. I was sparring with somebody for like 8.5 minutes the other day. But someone came that was an Aikido person, and he came specifically for the reason to see how it worked for someone that used a different type of martial art and was more aggressive. So it was very interesting because I've never sparred with someone who did Aikido before, and he had never sparred with someone who was intentionally trying to hit him and not allowing them to throw to grab a wrist. And he was very frustrated, but he did it so he could take it back and discuss it with the people he trains with about how it's different. So Aikido is an interesting thing. Something about greatest of all time, that would be Ali. I don't know about in terms of MMA. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. I think we'll probably do a separate one at some point that's just about just non-science things, though. Honestly, there's a science to martial arts. Yeah, there's a science to everything. Science is behind everything, people. I like to think in terms of martial arts, martial craft, and martial science. There are ways of breaking down martial activities into the scientific principles: force, mass, acceleration, balance, centers of gravity, fulcrums, leverage. It's all science. Yeah. And no, I don't drink, but my wife likes Guinness. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. People, thank you very much for. It seems like it was pretty civil in there. I saw a little bit back and forth. But thank you again for coming. Thank you for your support. Those of you who've donated to the super chat, I appreciate it greatly. Anyone who's interested, I think, and thank you very much, Anon, for that link to studiosapien.com. That's where you can go and try to get a shirt. He's doing it again. And shirts and donations can be done there. So I will be I'll probably be doing some more live as much as possible. And we'll see if we can get this done on a more regular basis. Thank you very much. Let's say some goodbyes to people. And thank you very much for all your help today. Chris Wentz, if you're still there, take care of my brother. All of you who've been supporting me, helping out, thanks for defending me the way you do. But at the same time, I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to reiterate what I said in the very beginning. Let's go back to the beginning of this video. Studio Sapien has no spaces in between there. What I said in the beginning, when you're defending me, when you're criticizing someone who's criticizing me in a specific way, stay away from the kind of the petty, superficial, sexist, homophobic attacks. That doesn't work with me. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on here. Nope, I'm getting Studio Sapien just fine here. Hold on, let's try this. That works for me just fine. I'm looking at it right now. And if you go to the support GS, where you can do t-shirts, copy and paste it in, but it's in there. All right, everybody, I'm going to take off. I will give you at least 24 hours notice. Yeah, probably a typo in the link. At least 24 hours notice before the next live stream. And let's try to move forward with the science now. Let's try to stay away from the drama. I have some demos coming up that I'm working on. I'm actually picking up a P900 next week, just renting one for a week. There's some stuff I'm going to be doing on the bay to test one out. I want to get to know it before the P1000s come out. So I will be putting some P900 demos together. Thank you very much for all you do. Take care, everybody.